I f***ing hate her fans. And honestly, I just didn't have a good time. I got in line for the show at like 6 in the morning. My friend who was getting into the fight was right here. This was like the greatest show of all time. But she literally went backstage and got Madison to sign my little card. It was worth my $500 ticket. Jesus f***ing Christ. Glad that's over. Hi guys, it's Aiden. Welcome back to my channel. Or if this is the first video you're seeing of me, hey. So today we're going to be doing a video that I randomly just got this idea. I'm sure somebody's probably done this before, but I just randomly got this idea. Today we're going to tier rank every single concert that I've ever been to. If you know me, you know I love music and I love concerts. I've been to my fair share of concerts. Now that I'm actually an adult and I can just go to whatever concert, at least that I can afford, I think I definitely have a pretty strong roster of all the concerts that I've ever been to. Not all of them have been so amazing, but a lot of them have. So today we're going to go through all the concerts I've been through and just tier rank them and just talk a little bit about them and let you know how the whole experience actually was for me. So right here I have my computer and I basically made this little system that we're going to use today. I'm going to quickly go over the 6 different categories we have just so you guys have an idea of what exactly we're working with. So at the very bottom category we have I Should Have Stayed Home. These are concerts that honestly waste of money. I don't even know why I went. Should have just stayed home. The second category we have is could have just watched a live stream. Especially nowadays, any concert you've ever wanted to see is probably being live streamed every single night. You know, maybe the show wasn't like horrible for me, but maybe it did feel like a waste of money. And honestly, I could have got the same experience if I just stayed home in my bed and watched that live stream. So the next category we have is no regrets. Self-explanatory. These are concerts that I don't regret going to. Maybe nothing special, but I don't regret buying a ticket. The next category we have is core memory. These are concerts that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and I keep them in my head as very, very core memories and just great experiences all around. The next category we have is highlight of my life. These are the best of the best concerts that were some of the best points in my life, and I just honestly had the time of my life. I honestly probably would sell my kidney to go again, if I'm being so honest. And then the top category we have is Eras Tour, because we'll talk about it when we get to the Eras Tour, but it doesn't feel fair for me to put the Eras Tour in any other category or to even like put it up against some of these other concerts. Like the Eras Tour is in its whole other realm. When we get there, we'll talk about it. Yeah, so we have the Eras Tour category. So yeah, without further ado, let's rank all the concerts that I've ever been to. So every single picture that you guys see at the bottom here is in the exact order of all the concerts I've been to. So we are going to start with the first concert I ever went to, and then we're going to work our way to some of the more recent concerts that I've attended. So the first concert that we have here is the first show that I ever attended. It was in, I believe, September of 2021. It was the iHeartRadio Festival in Vegas. Now, this was a concert that was a gift to me. I was really going through it during this time. I think I had just gotten out of the hospital for mental health stuff. I was really going through it, and I think it was my grandparents, my dad, and my uncle all decided to surprise me to go to this concert. Now, as you can see here, it says iHeartRadio Festival in parentheses Billie Eilish. Because it was a festival show, there were like a lot of different acts that performed, but the only reason I wanted to go or really went in the first place was so I could see Billie Eilish. This was a super fun trip. Honestly, I am so thankful to my grandparents and my uncle and my dad for putting this together and for taking me to Vegas. For this concert, I am going to put this in core memory. I'm not going to complain about anything because, again, I was so thankful to even go and to get to see Billie Eilish. The only thing was I only really went for Billie Eilish, and she only performed, because it was a festival, there was a lot of other people performing, that each artist only got to perform like 4 or 5 songs. So I only got to see Billie for like 20 minutes, which I honestly, like, I was totally fine with. And a lot of the other acts I saw, like Tate McRae was there, Khalid was there, Coldplay, like it was a really good lineup, but I mainly went for Billie and I only saw her for a little bit, which is not a problem at all. Again, like so grateful to go, and I had a lot of fun, and it was also in Vegas, so I got to have fun in Vegas too. The next concert I have is yet another Billie Eilish concert. Now, this is the Happier Than Ever tour, and immediately I just have to put this in highlight of my life. The Happier Than Ever tour, and I've been to a lot of other Billie Eilish concerts that we're going to talk about later in this video. The Happier Than Ever tour was unmatched to me. I don't know what it was about that tour and that show and everything about it. Also, just Happier Than Ever is by far my favorite Billie Eilish album, but that show was so good and it was so much fun. This was the first concert that I ever camped out for, and that made the experience honestly just that much better. It was a lot. Like I'm so done with my concert camping phase and era. I'm only 19, but I'm just so past it. I can't do it anymore. I think I was like 16. The whole experience was just so much fun. Camping out was so much fun. I made a bunch of friends in line while camping that I still love to this day, and it was just so much fun. This was also my first like full Billie Eilish concert, because obviously before this I went to the festival and she only performed like 5 songs. songs. So this was my first like full Billie Eilish concert, and it fully lived up to all my expectations. Honestly, the things that I would do to go back to the Happier Than Ever era, that was my album, dude. That was my era. So this is the this is the first of many, as you can see, first of many Nessa Barrett concerts that I will end up attending in my life. This show was so much fun. I do think I have to put this in highlight of my life. So this concert was essentially like, I don't want to say her album release party, but this concert did happen like only a couple days after her debut album Young Forever came out. It was like a concert just to celebrate the fact that the album was out, and it was so much fun. Honestly, like I really hold this specific Nessa concert like really close to my heart. I got to dress up as an angel, which I thought was really cute. This was also Nessa's first like big concert, and so to like be a part of that and to see where she is now, I think it was just so cool. And Young Forever is like, that album meant so much to me, and just to be there, like, I don't know, I had a really good time. Sorry. The next concert we have is the Happier Than Ever Hometown Encore show, and this immediately is going into highlight of my life. This is my favorite Billie Eilish concert I've ever been to, by far. And to be honest, I don't even know exactly made it so fun. It was pretty much the exact same show from the Happier Than Ever tour. I don't know. If you were there, I feel like you get it. Something was in the air, and there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of fighting. Me and my friends did camp out for the show, which is actually funny because me and my friend Sabrina ended up just being in the back of the pit for the show because there was a lot of fighting and there was a lot of chaos. And I love Billie Eilish, but I fucking hate her fans. I think her fans are so... Anyway, that's another video. I loved this show so much. It was also during Christmas time. Like, I think it was literally the week before Christmas. So it just had such a cozy vibe. Also, for this show, she brought out Phoebe Bridgers, which is fucking crazy. I lost my fucking mind.
Phoebe Bridgers.
I lost my mind. I love Phoebe Bridgers, and seeing them together singing Motion Sickness was... I don't have words still. I literally do not have words. One of my favorite concerts I've ever been to, for sure. Okay, next we're gonna get into the Young Forever tour. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 different photos from the Young Forever tour because I decided to go to 3 shows, which was crazy. The first show we have is night 1, and... I'm gonna put this and could have just watched a live stream. This show was f***ing so chaotic. It was literally f***ing crazy. To start it off, I got in line for the show at like 6 in the morning, which is mistake number 1. Second of all, it was pouring rain the entire day that we were waiting in line. Now, as I just said, I got in line at 6 a.m. and I don't think the doors even opened until like 6 p.m. I waited in line in the and when I talk about like rain, I don't mean like, oh, it was sprinkling. It was pouring fucking rain. I don't want to say it wasn't fun because having to go through that with like a bunch of other people, like I made some lifelong friends during the experience, but it just was so miserable. And it also sucked too because for this show I bought VIP meet and greet, and so I did actually get to meet Nessa, which was obviously very cool, but it wasn't cool because when I did finally get in to meet her, I literally was soaking wet. Every single person, if you went to the show, you know, every single person in this meet and greet was like soaking wet, shivering, shaking. Our feet were literally like squishing to the ground as we were walking up to meet Nessa. Like, I don't want to meet one of my favorite artists while I probably smell bad, first of all. Second of all, I look like I just took a fucking shower. And third of all, I was like freezing. I was so cold. Having to be soaking wet and then having to be squished in a pit full of other people that were... Oh my god. It was horrible. Like, honestly, I love Nessa, obviously, and my hatred towards this show doesn't really have anything to do with her. It just has to do with, like, the overall experience. The only good thing that came out of this, though, was when I met Nessa, she knew who I was. So that was cool. You know, that made up for, not all of it, but it made up for some of what I had been through. We're gonna turn this right around, though, because next up we have Young Forever Night 2, and this was a core memory, for sure. This show was so much better. Oh my god. So much better than the first night. This night, me and my friends, actually the new founded friends from the night before, for this show we all decided to not be Barricade, because honestly, growing up is realizing that Barricade is honestly just not, it's not fun. For this show, she was performing at the Fonda Theater, and at the Fonda they have like side stage, not side stages, but like side viewing areas. I don't even know how to explain it. Moral of the story is it was a way more enjoyable show, because one, I didn't get rained on for 10 hours, and also I could move around. Oh my god, like this was such a freeing experience to me because I could move. During the opener, I had to go to the bathroom and I was able to do so. Crazy concept. This show was just so much fun though. I really liked the show. Nessa seemed a lot happier and me and my friends were just rocking out. I will say, I was in the middle, literally literally in the middle of a fight. I wasn't in the fight. Don't get it twisted. From the position that I was in, Riley, if you're watching this, I love you so much. But my friend Riley literally was getting into a fight with this like botched face, drunk ass. It was a lot for me, and again, because of where I was standing, I was literally like, my friend who was getting into the fight was right here, and then the girl was over here. So as they were like screaming at each other, I was just standing there like I was in fucking Club Penguin, like. So that was interesting, but it didn't have anything to do with me, so I don't really care. And then concluding the Young Forever tour, we have night 3. This is also going in core memory, honestly. This show, I was in the very, very back, because honestly, like, I wasn't having it. I really wasn't. I was so tired and like just exhausted. It was a really exhausting couple of days for me. We just chilled in the back. I don't really have much to say about this show, but yeah, this show was fun, I think. Next up, we have yet another. I've been to so many Nessa concerts. We have the Hell is a Teenage Girl album release show. This one was just celebrating her new EP that had just come out. This show was really fun, but like one of the only things I even remember from the show was the fact that I lost my fucking wallet, and I did end up finding it, but I was stressed the out. I was mainly stressed out because the following week, which we'll talk about in a second, but the following week I was going to the Eras tour, and I had bought a hotel. This was like, the Eras tour was like 5 days after my 18th birthday, and I got a hotel for me and my friend Sabrina to go to the Eras tour together, and this was like the first hotel that I'd ever booked being an adult. And because I thought I lost my wallet, I wouldn't have been able to get into the hotel because I didn't have my ID. I was so stressed out. I'm debating between core memory and no regrets. I'm gonna say core memory. It was a really good show. She had a live orchestra, which was fucking crazy. Hearing Love Bomb with strings and Lie. Next, we have the Eras tour. Okay, everyone get comfy because I have a lot to say. This was like the greatest show of all time. It was the greatest show of all time, and I knew it was going to be so before I'd even seen the show. I know I jokingly like have this own category for it and all that, but like the Eras tour was like the greatest thing of all time. There's a reason it's the biggest tour of all time. It's made the most money. It's the most successful. It is that good. And anybody who went to the show, like, I know so many people aren't even really like that big of Taylor Swift fans that went to the show and were like, dude, like, there's a reason she's the #1 artist of all time. And also, like, everybody wanted to go to this tour. Even if there's only like one single Taylor Swift song that you actually like listen to or enjoy, you wanted to go to this tour. It was the best night of my life. Honestly, like, it was my first time seeing my all-time favorite artist. It lived up to every single expectation that it possibly could have. It was also my first stadium show, which was very overwhelming for me because holy is SoFi Stadium massive. I had so much fun, and also just like leading up to the show, I was literally making friendship bracelets every single day for like 2 months before the show. Literally best night of my life. Me and my best friend Sabrina that I went to the show with, we were literally like in the nosebleeds, and I could not have cared less. I was so excited to be there, so thankful to be there. I don't know that a concert is ever gonna top this for me, which is why it has its own category. So love you, Taylor. You are the greatest of all time. You really are. Tell me what other artist can put on a 3.5-hour show. We're going to be here a while because there's no other artist that can do that. And a 3.5-hour entertaining show at that. That's why she's the queen of the world? Oh, God, okay. The next concert I went to was the ACL Music Festival. I have Nessa Barrett as kind of the figure for this because she's the only reason that I flew to fucking Texas to attend this music festival. I'm putting this in I should have stayed my ass home. In terms of the trip, like actually going to Texas with my friends, that was like a core memory. That was so much fun for me. We had a really, really fucking nice Airbnb in Texas by the festival. And so that part was really fun, and I really enjoyed that. In terms of the actual show, it was, oh my God. Throughout this experience, I learned that I am not a music festival guy. It's not my thing. This is the first, I'm not going to say and the last festival that I'm going to attend, but I did not have a good time. It is kind of my fault though, because I don't know why you would attend a music festival. Like, I only went to this festival to see Nessa, and I think that that's my fault as to why I didn't enjoy it. Because if you're going to a music festival, you probably should go for more than just one person. And it's not that I just went for her. Like, Kendrick Lamar was also performing, and I would have loved to see him, but I mainly went for Nessa. First of all, it's fucking hot. Let me start there. Fucking hot as balls. Second of all, she was having some technical difficulties with her set list and everything. And the thing with festivals is if you have technical difficulties, they don't just push everything back. It's a festival. They have a whole lineup of other artists that are performing. She only ended up performing like 5 or 6 songs when she was supposed to do like 10. So you can imagine if I flew all the way out there and stood in the fucking blazing hot heat only for her to not even do her full set. Yeah, I regretted it. I really did. And it's nothing against Nessa. Technical difficulties happen, but I did not not have a good time. Also, having to get out of the crowd, because it's like a music festival, there's no like exits. And because Nessa was performing on the same stage that Kendrick Lamar would later be headlining on, there were so many fucking people in that crowd. And most of them weren't even there for Nessa. They were there for Kendrick, but they just got there early so they could have a good view. Having to maneuver my way out of all the Kendrick Lamar fans, horrible. Oh my god. The amount of like slurs I got called just by trying to maneuver my way out of the crowd. This one guy also literally sexually harassed me. So yeah, I didn't have a good time. Okay. Next up, we have 2 more Nessa Barrett concerts, because later that year, my girl decided to do another tour, which 2 tours in 1 year is crazy, first of all. So the first show we have is the Church Club Tour Night 1. Now, this one was in San Diego, and honestly, I'm gonna put this in highlight of my life. This was a really good show. Me and my friends did camp out. But this time, like, the camping out was fun. It just felt like a kiki. It felt like a slumber party with all my Nessa Barrett friends. The show itself was also good. For this show, I had, like, VIP sound check, so I got to watch Nessa do her sound check. And also, I think she did, like, a Q&A or something. And literally, like, during the sound check, she came up to me and my friends and were like, you guys need to be front and center during the show, because I want to hug you guys during Love Bomb. Because if you're not familiar with the Nessa Barrett of it all, during this tour specifically, she has a song called Love Bomb. And during the song, she's, like, standing at the barricade, and then she, like, hugs everybody. It's super, super cute. And she wanted me and my friends, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been to a lot of Nessa Barrett concerts, and because of this, she now knows me and like recognizes me and all my friends and stuff, and it's like, it's honestly super cool. But she requested that we would be at front and center, which is actually funny because I didn't end up being front and center. But big butt, she still made her way to hug me. Like, she went out of her way to give me a hug, and she literally hugged each and every one of my friends. Like, she hugged us all in a line, which normally she doesn't do that. Normally she just like hugs everybody and holds them. She went out of her way to hug me and all of my friends individually. And honestly, like, I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was a really, really good night. Also, being in San Diego was like super, super fun. We had a really nice Airbnb there too. Honestly, great experience. Now we're gonna talk about a not so great experience, because this one is immediately going, and I should have stayed my ass the fuck home. Oh my god, this show sucked. Okay, I shouldn't say the show sucked. Everything about this experience was horrible. The show was in Anaheim, which I love Anaheim, but I fucking hated everything about this. I'm not gonna get into it too much because a lot of it is like, honestly, petty drama that I wasn't really involved in, but I kind of was involved in, but I was like dragged into. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. But we did camp out for the show, and then we got kicked out by the police, and then we snuck back in at like 4 a.m. And then there was a bunch of fighting, and I got really overwhelmed and stressed out. And then while we were waiting for the show, there was more fighting, and I was in the middle of not like in the middle of the fighting, but I was literally, again, I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but there was like a fight between someone and another person while we were waiting for the show. Like, we were already inside the show at the barricade, and they were like screaming at each other. And at this point, I was literally like, I had sat down at the barricade, and I was just like sitting curled in a ball because I was like, what the f is going on? And then there was fighting after the show, and honestly, I just didn't have a good time. The show itself was fine. Nessa looked so good. That outfit, honestly, one of my favorites she's worn. But yeah, this was not it to me. I did not have a good time with this. But we're about to be so back, because next up we have Jingle Ball, New York City, and highlight of my life. Oh my god, I love this show so much. And the end of 2023, I got to go to New York, which was so much fun. I want to go back so bad. But while I was in New York, I got to go to I Heart Jingle Ball. It was just the best. Like, it was so much fun. Me and my friends were like kind of in the nosebleeds, or we were in the upper bowl. I had the time of my life. The lineup was crazy. I saw Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, SZA, Big Time Rush, Melanie Martinez, One Republic, I think it was One Republic, Jelly Roll, and a couple other people. But like, what do you mean I saw Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, and SZA in the same night? Such a good show. Okay, next up, this one wasn't really a concert, but I did include it anyway. This is when I saw Madison Beer at the Grammy Museum. She only sang, like, I think literally 2 songs, and then she was doing like an interview most of the time. So again, this isn't really like a concert. I don't really know why I even put this. I'm gonna put this in no regrets, just because there wasn't really like, again, she literally sang 2 songs. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. She was doing a Q&A during the show. Before we actually went inside, we got to write on like little index card questions to ask her, and she actually answered my question. And when she pulled my card, she was so in awe of my handwriting and like how good it is. Flex. And I also happened to be sitting right next to her mom, and her mom was like, wait, I really want to see your handwriting, like, can I see? I think she asked if I had a picture of it or something, and I did have a picture of it, so I showed it to her, and she was like, oh my god, your handwriting is so good, do you want me to get Madison to sign it for you, like my question card? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, girl, what do you mean? So her mom literally ended up getting my question card, getting Madison to sign it. I still have it. Wait, this is my little concert memorabilia bin I have. But yeah, she literally went backstage, here it is, and got Madison to sign my little card. So I have a very unique Madison Beer souvenir over here. Honestly, great show. It wasn't even a fucking show, so I don't know, but I had a good time. Speaking of real shows though, the next thing I ended up attending was Madison Beer's spin-in tour. Okay, I think this one's gonna go in core memory. Yeah, I did really like this show, don't get me wrong. Madison is fucking gorgeous. I love her so much. I was literally front row, like front row. She was right in front of my face. It was unreal experience. But one of my only qualms with the show though, and I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I didn't like the Greek theater. This was the first concert that I had ever been to at the Greek. It's a beautiful venue, but when it came to the actual like sound of the show, and maybe it's just because I was so close, but also like I don't know, because I talked to friends that also went to the show that were towards the back and they said the same thing. I just couldn't really hear her all that much, and to be honest, the only reason that I could even hear her at all was because I was so close to her that I wasn't even hearing her through the mic. I was just hearing her like because she was so close to me, like I could just hear her voice that way, but I could never really hear her through the speakers, which I don't know if that has anything to do with the venue, but I was just a little disappointed. The other thing that like I guess stained a little bit of my experience when I went to the show, there was so much fucking drama. Oh my god. Now I feel like I keep talking about how there's so much drama at a lot of the shows that I go to, so you're probably thinking that I like the drama, because also most of the time when people are like, I hate drama, it's like, no you don't, you actually love it. But I literally hate it. I hate it so much. I was just getting really pissed the fuck off with a lot of people during the show. The problem is, not the problem necessarily, but like I have a lot of friends that are like concert friends, and so they're friends that I see at so many different shows, and I love all of them, but a lot of the time, I'm so sorry, but a lot of the time I don't like my friends' other friends. Like my friends I love, but then when they start hanging out with their other friends and then I kind of have to hang out with them by association, I really don't like a lot of them. That's just kind of that. I also don't really do well in like big groups of people, because a lot of the time I feel like I just end up fading into obscurity in the back. I just don't really have, in my opinion, I don't know, I just don't really have like a big loud personality, especially not in a group of people. I don't know, I hate docking points because of things that don't have to do with the show, but when I think of the show I do think of the overall experience, which is why I do kind of have to like, honestly, if all the drama and stuff didn't happen, this probably would have been in the highlight of my life category. Okay, next up we have the Guts Tour by Olivia Rodrigo. This highlight of my life. Oh my god, I loved this fucking concert so fucking much. This was honestly my favorite concert that I attended last year. It was so much fun. Honestly, it was worth my $500 ticket. Yeah, I did pay $500 for my ticket. I will say, so worth it though. I was on the floor and it was like a VIP ticket, which like the VIP aspect of it didn't mean f***ing shit. And then I got like a f***ass, I'm sorry, it was a f***ass hat. I don't even care though, because the show itself was so good. The show was also so loud. Every single person in the arena was screaming their hearts out, and I love that. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I'm at a concert and nobody around me is like, obviously don't be fucking annoying and don't be like screeching your lungs out at every single moment during the show. But I've been to shows where people aren't just into it as much as I am, and that pisses me off. But every single person at the show was into it just as much as I was, and it made the experience like so much better. I also just love like every single Olivia Rodrigo song ever. It was everything to me. Next up we have When I Saw Conan Gray at the Found Heaven tour. But this one I'm gonna put in no regrets. I don't really have much to say about the show. I was very thankful to go. My best friend Sabrina took me. It was a free show for me, like I didn't have to pay anything. I think that's because my best friend Sabrina had a Ticketmaster gift card and this is what she used it for. So I mean, like, free concert, like I'm there any day. I did have a good time. I didn't know all of the songs, which for me was kind of weird, because up until that point I had never been to a concert where I didn't know every single song that was being performed, because I only really go to concerts by artists that I love. Like I don't really go to concerts by artists that I only like a couple of their songs, but I love Conan Gray. I've been a Conan Gray fan since like 2019, and so I love his music. I just don't listen to it all the time, and I also wasn't the biggest fan of his newest album, which is like the album that he was touring for. So I don't know, but I had a good time and I don't have any regrets, which is why it's in that category. Next up we have the Short and Sweet Tour by Miss Sabrina Carpenter. Immediately highlight of my life. I'm so excited to announce though, I did get tickets. I can't even talk about it because I'm like so fucking excited. A couple days ago, Sabrina Carpenter announced she's extending her Short and Sweet Tour, and I did get tickets, and I will be at 3 different shows. I know. I'm so fucking excited. I will say I'm going to 3 different shows, but I'm going to all of them by myself because when I was trying to get tickets, literally the only seats that I could find were like single seat tickets. So I will be by myself, but I'm so excited. Anyway, this show, so much fun. Loved it so much. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know if you know this about me, but I fucking love Sabrina Carpenter and I've loved her for years. I wanted to go to the Emails I Can't Send tour so fucking bad, but it just didn't end up happening. So getting to see her at the Short and Sweet tour meant everything to me. And the show was just so cool. I'm so obsessed. Like I'm so fucking clearly I'm obsessed. I'm going to 3 more shows. I'm so obsessed with the stage design, how it's like a dollhouse, and throughout the whole show she's like going through different parts of the house. I also love all the fits that she wears. I think she just looks so good. I'm so fucking excited to go to more. It's not even until November, but I'm so excited. Like I'm so excited. Okay, the last 3 concerts we have here are all from the same show, or same tour, same artist. Billie Eilish, the Hit Me Hard and Soft tour. I attended 3 nights on this tour, which was crazy. God, okay, here's the thing though. I don't want to get into it too much because this is a lighthearted video. You know what I mean? Like, we're just kicking back, we're having a kiki, but big but I was not having a good time at these shows, and it has nothing to do with the actual show themselves. I had just broken up with my boyfriend that I had been with for like a year, and that we were living together, and that I was at these shows with. And so to say that I was being tortured out of my fucking mind is like, oh my God. And I hate to say it, but it really did just cloud all of these concerts for me because I was so heartbroken over everything. So night 1 of the show, honestly, I think was probably my favorite. This was the show that my now ex didn't attend. So this one was a lot of fun. I'm going to put this in core memory. I am aware that most people don't go to a concert more than once, but seeing the Hit Me Hard and Soft tour for the first time, like it was everything. Oh my God, it was such a good show. Like I said, I'm a big Happier Than Ever guy. That's my album, that's my tour. But this show was so fucking good. And everything about it, like I don't know, it was an incredible show. So good. I love Billie so much, and being on the floor dancing and screaming my lungs out was so much fun. Night 2, I'm putting this in. I should have just honestly stayed my ass home. Again, it has nothing to do with the show, but this show, we were in the nosebleeds, which is fine. I don't have a problem being in the nosebleeds. However, this was the first show that my now ex went to. I don't want to get too much into it, but all I'm gonna say, it was a really dehumanizing experience for me to be watching this show and to be crying my eyes out, which by the way, this is just a side note, I have never cried. I'm not a big crier, to be honest. So you would think that I cry a lot at concerts, but I've never cried ever at a concert except for at this show. And it was a really dehumanizing experience to be crying my eyes out. I hate talking about this, but like having my now ex just like sit there and like look at me and like not do any, like I needed some comfort in that moment. I get that we were broken up, but like he could not give less of a that I was like sobbing my eyes out to a song that I now actually can't listen to. Yeah, I was. And then we have night 3, which I don't know, like the show itself was so fucking good. Literally, this was the show where Billie brought out Charlie and they sang Guest together, and I was on the floor. Girl, highlight of my life type shit. But again, I was not feeling it. I was not having a good time. God, this one I don't know, because I'm like, would I have given up seeing the show if it would have prevented me from feeling the way that I felt after the show? Because the show itself was so good. Again, highlight of my life type shit. But was it worth the literal... I was the torture poet during that time. I was literally playing that album. I always play that album, but like I was playing the fuck out of that album as I would like get ready for the shows. And girl, oh my God, I was not okay. I'm gonna put it in. I could have just watched a live stream, but I hate saying that because like I don't want to watch a live stream. You know what I mean? Like especially bringing out Charlie. Like I don't want to watch a video or a live stream of Billie bringing out Charlie XCX to sing Guest. Like I want to be there, and I was there. I was just so miserable that in that moment, like I was having a blast, but then afterwards I was like, and then I ended up getting like, I don't know if you guys are aware of the forum flu, but every time I go to the forum, I end up getting like so sick afterwards. I don't know what the it is about that, but literally the day after the show, I had to drive back with my then at the time also ex, like 7 hours back to our apartment in Santa Cruz. Breakup mixed with sickness, like top 5 worst things I've ever been through. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, glad that's over. So this concludes my official ranking of all the concerts I've ever been to. Looking at this now, it's actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't have predicted a lot of these. Those two Billy Hit Me Hard and Soft ones are pissing me the fuck off because those should have been like in the highlight of my life categories, but I just can't put them there because of everything that happened. Whatever. But this is my little ranking of all the concerts I've been to. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about this because I know a lot of you probably went to a lot of these same shows. So let me know in the comments how the show was for you. I do think it's interesting that a concert can become so affected by what you're going through in your life. Clearly I would know. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you so much. Been really grinding my ass lately to be posting a lot, so hopefully you guys have been enjoying it, and long may it last. Honestly, I've been having the time of my life making all these videos. So thank you so much for watching again. I love you so much. Thank you for all the support on all the videos lately. It means the world to me. And I'll catch you guys later with yet another video.